Hello, I am Pastor Mai, and it's a privilege and honor to be on this PNG now, and PNG now taking these issues of family issues and violent whatever is happening in PNG, and it's an honor for me to be part of the program. And I want to share my view concerning families. So I believe that there's a problem happening in the homes because of upbringing in the homes. It reflects to the father, it reflects to the mother, it reflects to the generation that is happening. And I believe that most of the cases are brought in by culture. And we need to do some redeeming thing here with the culture. We need to do some changes. And we try to balance it with the spiritual perspective. That means we need to go back to the Bible, how it began with man and woman. And if we begin to see that thing, we do some changes. If there is good part of it, we need to change it. Good part of it, we need to try to work on it. But if it is bad part of it, we try to do some changes in the betterment of the house. So I believe I just want to read some of the scriptures that will help us understand. Those of you as Christian followers, Christian church, Christian believers that you go to church, I just put some scriptures here. You can go back home and read through that. I believe everything is based on the scriptures. When we start off with the scriptures, a lot of changes happen. We have our cultures, but let's come to the culture of the gospel, and those changes happen there. So I'll just read some of the scriptures. Like in Genesis chapter 1 and verses 1 to 3, Bible said that in the beginning God created the universe. And that means that God is the one that starts everything in the beginning. And he said, let there be light, and there was light. Now the interesting thing is that after God created the universe, the last part of the creation was man. Creation focus was to see man coming up. And I believe that when God created man, it's very interesting. He created man, and then he breathed into the man. And when man rose up, first thing he encountered with God. The first thing man saw was God. They face to face look to each other. I am not a health worker, but when there is somebody is unconscious or fainted or something, they have to put this person on the floor or something. They have to go and breathe into the person. So God in the beginning did the same thing because the man was idle. Man was like a statue. It was lying there on the floor, on the ground, and God has to go and breathe into the person's nostril. He breathed in the life into this person. And I believe when he breathed in, when man opened his eyes, the first thing to see was not the creation, not the gold and not the silver, not the beautiful things, they are animals, but it was God face to face they encountered. And they said hello to each other that time. And it was man that said hello to man, hello to God first. So I believe man has to say hello to God, because that's where the relationship starts. When man touches God, he touches the family. Man is not touching God, family is on chaos. God started off with man first. Later woman came in. God saw need for the man. He gave the dream to man. He said, I want you to look after the garden. I want you to work. Now when there is work and looking after, there's only two responsibilities given to men. Your job is to work or cultivate the land. And the second thing is that you have to provide security to that garden. And then the third thing is the restriction, little bit of, now we call it 10 commandments, but in that day it was only one commandment, which said, don't eat this fruit, and that's it. But along the way, something happened. The woman walked in, and then man fell from sin. And in that job, man lost his responsibility to look after the garden and work the garden. So that's the two responsibility I believe the man need to really focus. Man has a responsibility to provide security to the house. That means that he has to provide everything to the house, meaning that he has to work. He has to do this and that. And that is in the natural sense. But in the spiritual sense, I believe that the man has to pray a lot. Man has to work hard in this category. Now, I want to bring something here. That the man, in the beginning, God spoke to him. He touched him first. And the second thing is that he commanded him, he instructed him. And the third thing is that he had fellowship with man. And I believe that's the thing that the man, I believe the house will experience a better family home. When the man is not finding God, that's a problem already in the house. That means woman finds revival. Woman goes and finds God and comes back. Man is still staying idle. When man finds its place, when man begin to find his identity, I believe the house automatically changes. Now we see in many revival cases or crusades or gatherings, we see women dancing in the front, but it should be men dancing in the front, carrying the children, shouldering them, telling the children, this is how you go. Because it was God that encountered with men first. But there was a need with men. In other words, the dreams and vision was deposited in man's life. Man is a dream carrier, vision carrier. Somehow he has to rise up. Otherwise, the woman makes a lot of decisions, and that's where disagreement. Some of us, we men, we are so quiet, we are so humble, and we allow the woman to do a lot of talking. Those kind of things, sometimes it brings down moral of a man. But what I'm trying to say is the first thing is a spiritual thing. I want to bring some of the thoughts here with us. And, in the beginning, man was created. But it's an interesting thing. Jesus said something in John chapter 3. John chapter 3, Jesus said to man, you must be born again. He's talking to Nicodemus. He's not talking to a lady. He's talking to a man again. You need to be born again. And that's interesting word here, the word born again. Because born again is something that you need to be rebirthed. And it's a very confusing word. Nicodemus was confused. Because in the beginning, man was never born. He was actually created. He was a fully grown man. And the Bible said in Genesis 2 and verse 25, it says that they were both naked, but they were not ashamed. No, they have no feelings. That means he was a fully grown man, but in his mind, in his natural birth order, he was a day-old boy. So there shouldn't be any feelings about this. And that man was with God. God carried him all the way through. But when sin came, he walked out. And that restoration of man's duty of working, I want to talk a lot about this thing here. When I say working, the first thing, the spiritual. The second thing is the physical. But we are living in the real world. We see the physical first. But everything happens in the spiritual. Man has to rise up and take dominion over that. It's not women. I believe that a man has to take the leadership in the prayer program, in everything in the spiritual. Man takes lead. And we've been brought up in the community. A woman has to pray, woman has to do this in the spiritual thing. I believe man takes lead. God spoke to man first. He created man first. Man takes the role, and the children begin to follow. The family begin to follow. Now, one of the things here, King David said something here. Watch and pray. Jesus said watch and pray, and King David talks about watch and pray here. He said, I pray all through the night. This is a king, but he still believes that there is a God. He still believes that I can do all things through God who gives me strength. And this is the king, is praying all through the night. I don't understand how he prayed, but King David said, I pray all through the night. Psalms 119, 148 says that my eyes are awake through the night watches. Now this watch program is now King David is repeating, and that means that in the beginning God told Adam, you need to tend or cultivate, and then you need to guard or watch over the soil. Now King David is saying, I watch all through the night. I do the watching, and that means there's a lot of watching activities happen. There's about 12 hours in the night. And if this is 12 hours in the night, and King David is saying, my eyes are awake through the night watches. I don't understand how King David has to do these things. But there's a Lamentation chapter 2 and 19 said that he prays at the beginning of the watches. That means there's about, if we divide 4 hours, we divide the 12 hours into 4, it means that there are 12 hours into 4, that is about 4 hours in that program. So there's about 4 hours happening in one shift, I would say. Today we call it one shift. So in the shift, there's about 4 hours. And in 4 hours, King David is praying for an hour, for the whole night. A king crying for the nation, just like James Marape said, our country's prime minister said, this is a Christian nation. But King David is more than just declaring, but he himself prays all through the night. and that becomes a Christian nation. So I am just putting this into our mind. Man has to take lead. If the king can stay for the whole night, spending 4 hours in the night, 4 hours prayer, and I believe man has to still take lead in prayer. I believe I have changed my mindset, and I've seen a lot of changes happen in my family home. It doesn't mean that I'm a pastor and my house is perfect, but I want to speak openly here as a PNG man. I have a problem with my elder children, especially boys. There's a lot of things happening, and then they go for certain things, drugs. But one thing that changed is after I discovered that I have to pray all through the night. My children changed because of my behavior towards prayer, my attitude towards prayer, my concept towards prayer. My children changed. I never spoke, but the prayer thing changed. And that is the responsibility that God gave to the first Adam. He said, you watch over it, meaning that I need to pray over it, guard and work over it. So many times we see that the men are not doing the frontline job. And Lamentation 2 says, if you have your children's problem, you will stand up in the night hours and lift up your hands. I believe fathers, we are not doing that job. That's why we see our children's dropping. The more you lift up your hand, just like Joshua lifting up his hands, something is happening. Children are surviving. Children are breaking through. Children are experiencing. And the nation will begin to change. We, all the pastors in the city, when we begin to rise up, it's not about the prayer warriors. It's not about the congregation prayer. It's about the father praying. I believe in father prayer.